is going on, guys? My name is Aaron, and this is the Game Day Hour. Welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, similarly to last week's, as we did the Thursday night and Friday night football games, we're going to be doing every single Monday night football game in today's episode. So this is going to stack from week 1 all the way to week 17, and the reason why we're doing this is because of the schedule in which I'm going to be working with. Most of the time, I'm going to be recording on days that are Monday, before Monday night football games. We're going to put everything into today's episode, all the Monday night games, and when the Monday night games happen for like shorts and stuff, I'll review them one more time, and then afterwards, once the game is over, then we're going to do our whole record throughout the week. But we're going to be doing every single game in this one so that there is a whole video dedicated to them. Without further ado, let's get started. Starting in week 1, we have the New York Jets and the San Francisco 49ers. Now, God willing, Aaron Rodgers plays this entire season, the Jets are going to be a powerhouse team to deal with. But they're also playing against the 49ers, who I think are going to have another successful year. This one's a little tough. Obviously, so much of the hype is going with Aaron Rodgers right now, but I cannot choose them over the Niners. As a matter of fact, when Aaron Rodgers plays in San Francisco, he's not that successful as of recently. So give me the 49ers to win, and there's going to be many of those to say throughout the year. I think that the Niners are a really good team and that they cannot be trifled with. Week 2, the Falcons and the Eagles play. Now, this has kind of been a little bit of a common matchup early on in the year, like last year. I'm pretty sure that they had this matchup in week 2 Thursday night football, if I'm not mistaken. But with the Eagles and the Falcons, this feels a little lopsided. Even though the Falcons just got Kirk Cousins, the Eagles are still one of the better teams in the NFL. And since it's back in Philadelphia, give me the Eagles to win this matchup. As a matter of fact, if they are not messing around, because they messed around a lot in that last game and still beat the Falcons, if they don't mess around, they should destroy the Falcons, theoretically. So give me Philly. Week 3 has a doubleheader, and the first one is Jacksonville at Buffalo. First instinct is to say Buffalo, but Buffalo's lost so much this year that I actually expect Jacksonville to pull off a major upset, and I believe the Jaguars are going to actually be on a good roll to start off the year. The Buffalo matchup last year was in London, and Jacksonville won that game too. I expect the Jaguars to do the same thing because the Bills feel so depleted, so give me Jacksonville. And then the second one of the doubleheader is Washington and Cincinnati. Now, I'm excited for Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be one of the better players this year, or at least the better rookies. But it's in Cincinnati. You have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You got all those guys. I don't really expect Washington, with how bad their defense was last year, to contend with Cincinnati. So give me the Bengals to win that matchup. Week 4 also has a doubleheader, and the first one is Tennessee at Miami. Now, one of the biggest shockers last year was when Will Levis took Tennessee and beat Miami in Miami. That was a crazy matchup and also a crazy comeback for them because they were like down 13 with less than 3 minutes to go. I expect the Titans to be competitive, but I think that this is going to be a different Miami team this year. Give me the Dolphins to win this matchup. I just do not believe that Tennessee is going to strike luck a second time, so give me the Dolphins. And the second of that doubleheader is Seattle and Detroit. Now, when these two teams play against each other, it's generally high scoring and it's generally close. I think it's favored Seattle just a few more times, but I'm going to take Detroit because Detroit has been building a great team, and of course, NFC Championship last year. There's no clue what they're going to do this year, but I still think they're going to be super successful, and I don't know about Seattle too much, so give me Detroit to win this matchup. Week 5 has New Orleans going to Kansas City. Now, I don't know what to think about New Orleans. I don't know where I'd place them in the old grand scheme of things because they kind of feel like a mediocre team that can do some damage from time to time. And Kansas City has a way of kind of playing too close to their opponents midway in the year, especially in Kansas City. But I'm going to take the Chiefs. I think that Kansas City has a better team overall, and I would rather have them at home. But this is one that's going to be a little bit iffy in my opinion. Week 6 has Buffalo going to New York to play the Jets. Now, I don't know what to think about this matchup. It feels close, kinda, but remember, Buffalo lost a lot. New York has gained a lot in the offseason. And since it's going to be in New York, I'm leaning more towards the Jets to win this game. It feels like it's going to be a little bit close. And of course, the game that was in MetLife last year, which had Aaron Rodgers going down with that injury, had the Jets winning in overtime because Josh Allen just had a very terrible game. And the Jets have a really good defense, so it makes it easier to pick the Jets in this case, but it's really hard to tell. I'm going to say New York, but I think it's going to be very close and very iffy. Again, we have two games on Monday night for week 7, and the first one is Baltimore going to Tampa Bay. Now, this is not the same Tom Brady Tampa Bay team, which made that matchup interesting a couple of years ago, but Baker Mayfield has made Tampa Bay out to be an extremely good team in a very poor division in their conference, but still really, really good. I think that despite Baltimore having all the pieces to be competitive, I think I'm going to take Tampa Bay in one of their shocker games because I do think that they do control home field advantage pretty well, so give me the Buccaneers. And then the second game is the Chargers and the Cardinals. This one is sleepy. Even this one's on ESPN Plus, so they clearly are not caring too much about this game, so I'm just going to throw the Chargers up there and let it be. I think that the Cardinals have, pieces to contend, but Justin Herbert, he'll find a way to work with that offense. Give me the Chargers. Giants versus Steelers in Week 8. The Giants are so bad. I really think they're going to be one of the worst teams this year. And while I don't have high hopes for the Steelers, this is kind of a game that they're expected to win. Give me Pittsburgh in this matchup. It's going to be, I don't even think it's going to be close. The Giants really botched this offseason, similarly to how the Cowboys have been botching the offseason. They both have been bad. New York, I think, has been a little bit worse in this situation. I would rather take the Steelers to win this game. Week 9 has the Buccaneers going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. This is going to be a really, really close and tough matchup. I really think that the Chiefs are going to win, but not as big as some people make them out to be. I mean, when you click into the ESPN app, they have... Oh, well, actually, no, they don't. I bet by the time, they start doing projection ratings, I think that Kansas City is going to be projected by a lot to win, but this is going to be a close matchup. I still have the Chiefs, but very, very marginal here. Week 10 has the Dolphins and the Rams playing in LA. This is going to be a really, really close matchup. Both these teams are actually pretty even, but I'm going to give Miami the edge because I think they have a better defense overall. As a matter of fact, this is Jalen Ramsey's return to Miami. The Dolphins should win this game. I mean, they have the speed, they have the offensive power to, compete. LA does too, but again, Miami's defense is really, really good, while LA's defense, I think, is really, really atrocious. So give me the Dolphins to win this matchup. Week 11 has the Texans and the Cowboys playing in Dallas. So, this is a really, really tough one. I think first glance, I want to say Houston, but I don't know how well they're going to mesh together. I mean, I think it's going to be really, really good. But I think in this kind of game, assuming that the Cowboys actually get their deals done and we have this kind of team going to play Houston, Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, I think the Cowboys will win, but in a nail-biter. One that's going to make me so anxious to the point where I won't want to record the next day. So give me the Cowboys to win, but really, really close. Week 12 has the Ravens and the Chargers playing. It's not even going to be a discussion. Give me Baltimore. The Chargers lost a lot on offense, and I am not sold on this whole run attack that Jim Harbaugh is going to have for LA. So give me the Ravens. They have the better defense overall, and they have the better backfield, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So it's going to make sense to just pick Baltimore here. Week 13 has the Browns going to Denver to play the Broncos. Now, Bo Nix showed me a little something. I was pretty impressed with his game against the Colts, and I think that he should be the starter going forward. But Cleveland, of course, their defense is very dominant, and I think that they also have a lot of pieces on offense to compete and contend. Give me the Browns in a low-scoring, close one. This is kind of... Denver is kind of known for their losing in games where the scoring is not even above 20 because their defense is pretty good, but I don't know how great their offense is going to be overall. Give me the Browns. Week 14 has the Cowboys hosting the Bengals. Now, a couple years ago, Cooper Rush was the quarterback, and we beat Cincinnati, but this is a Bengals team which is going to be in stride, and towards the end of the year, they look really, really good, assuming they're healthy. I'm going to take the Bengals to win this matchup. It kind of hurts a little bit, but Cincinnati is probably going to be in full stride by then, and it's really going to be hard to stop them. I think the Cowboys defense at times against really good opponents falter. And in this case, I do think they're not going to be able to contend with Jamar Chase or T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. So give me the Bengals to win. Another doubleheader for Week 15. First off, we have the Bears going to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Now, I don't know if J.J. McCarthy will be healthy by then. I know he had an injury. I don't know the extent to it. Caleb Williams looked good in his preseason game. I think that the Vikings are going to be very underwhelming this year. Give me the Bears to win this matchup. I know it sounds weird, but I do have a little bit of faith that the Bears will be better than the Vikings overall. So give me Chicago. And in the second game, we have the Falcons and the Raiders playing in Las Vegas. I don't know what to make of the Raiders. I think that the Falcons are going to get the W because I think their offense is a lot better. The Raiders' defense is a lot better, but I don't know about their offense overall. I think their offense is kind of lacking in many places. So give me the Falcons, just very, very close though. Week 16 has the Saints going to Green Bay to play the Packers. Now, again, I said it with the Saints, they're going to be kind of in the middle, but I believe the Packers are going to have a very good year. Give me Green Bay in Lambeau, extremely cold conditions to beat the Saints. And I mean, I think Jordan Love is going to have a great year. We're going to see who are the standout stars, but I think Green Bay overall matches New Orleans better. And since they have the home field advantage, especially since it's going to be in December, it's going to be easier to go with Green Bay at that time. So give me the Packers. And then lastly, Week 17, a rematch of the NFC Championship game between the Lions and the 49ers in the Bay. I had the Niners winning that game. Obviously, the Niners had one heck of a comeback, and I think that the Niners still have so many pieces. Even if you lose Brandon Ayuk, which it looks like it's trending in that direction, I still would take the 49ers to win. I think their system is a lot better for them, and they match Detroit very well athletically. I think defense, they're going to be very tough to deal with. I don't think the Niners are going to make that same mistake of letting Detroit just get going on offense the way they did. And they've cleaned it up, of course, in the second half. That also was attributed because Detroit got super aggressive when they should have been smarter scoring the ball, which they weren't. So there's that. Again, I'm going with the Niners. Overall, I would rather have their team over Detroit. So yeah, those are all the matchups on Monday Night Football throughout the year. So I thank you guys so much for watching. And again, I want you to go watch these games. They're going to be on ESPN or ABC, depending on if there's double headers or not. And again, I will review these games in shorts prior to them, and then of course after the games, just so I can show you my records throughout the year and fantasy football stuff too. Speaking of fantasy football, on Sunday, so 2 days after this video is supposed to release, I'm going to be having my fantasy draft. So the next episode is going to be revealing my fantasy football team. So I hope you guys are excited for that, because I am too. But yeah, that is going to do it. If you haven't already, please subscribe and go follow me on all my social medias. And yeah, that'll do it for me. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.